Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, season 6, episode 11. It was a fine episode. I thought it was gonna be more dramatic, but it
Me
was fine.
too.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about actually. So I'm gonna get straight into it. Check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have it's about the pasta Vanderpump Rules podcast. We have One Season Wonders, the show where Meredith and I talk about a show that only has one season and why, which is gonna come back, and we're gonna ask you for your opinion.
We're gonna do a poll, so make sure you're following the Instagram because we want your opinion on what show to do next.
Oh my God, what a great segue to our Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. Also, please rate, review, subscribe. We have a new review, 5 stars.
Ooh, love to hear it.
It's from Katie, and it's titled Hilarious and Amazing. Alicia and Meredith, I am absolutely obsessed with both of you and this podcast. I wanted to find a good summer house podcast to listen to after watching every week, and I found a perfect match. You guys are fun, hilarious, and relatable, and I feel like I'm having a conversation with my friends when I listen to you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I look forward to your episode every week. Hashtag Team Danielle. Love Katie Sensky. She even put her full name, Katie Sensky.
Oh, very sweet. We also got a really nice
yeah, you read that
message on our Instagram. Whenever we posted about Vanderpump Rules starting. So Peppered Glitz said, I'm dying listening to your one-hit wonder of Bush Family Brood. Seriously, I haven't laughed out loud about recaps ever. Alicia, you showed out on these recaps. You were so funny. I want to be best friends. This wouldn't work, though, without Meredith's banter and comments. What a fabulous duo. Your podcast formats are so amazing. I wish everyone did their recaps like you. Please never stop.
When we say one season wonders are a hit,
literally the hidden gem of this world. Like they're usually like 6 episodes. You can binge them in one day. They're like 30-40 minute episodes. They're the dream.
Literally, they're so funny. I don't
and they're shows about nothing, which is Alicia and I like our favorite thing ever.
It's our favorite reality shows are about nothing. Like these Summer House is one of our favorites because most of the time it's about nothing. But when it's about something, we struggle.
Yes. Yes. Like I feel like this episode's going to be 2 hours long because it's about nothing.
Literally, it's about nothing.
It's like we get 10 minutes of like wrapping up the problems, and then it's like let's go to the beach during a hurricane.
Nothing. Okay, so also really quick, our Patreon, let me tell you what you can get. We also have a lot of people that left messages, so we have to go through them. It's a lot of housekeeping today. So for $1 a month, you get access to our pre-shows, which we didn't do this time because I'm having a lot of like weird issues. My computer is dying on me. I don't know why, but just so you know, there's no pre-show. We are so sorry. Your $1 a month is not worth it this episode. I apologize. But you also get access to any episodes that we record early. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus you get access to our after shows that we do when we go back and record old seasons. Also, we will say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Ashley, Chris, Courtney, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Kimberly, Cameron, Tiffany, Tracy, Gina, Jennifer, Kelsey, Mariah, Sarah, and Zoe. Sorry, I get tripped up at the 2 Sarahs, but we got so 2 Sarahs.
What a crew.
I know. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get to give us your thoughts for the live show. For example, we had 2 patrons that are $5 leave us their thoughts. And we had 1 patron that's $2. And we are not going to read that one on the show, but I did read it and I appreciated your feedback. But we're going to read the $5 patron ones. So that's why you should be a $5 patron. Also, we'll pick a patron of the episode. This week it's it's gonna be, you know what? It's gonna be Jackie, because through all of our old audio issues that we had, she always stuck with us, and now we're having audio issues, and I'm just nervous. We're gonna get really bad reviews on this. And I know, okay, I know it's probably not sounding great. I know there's maybe an echo.
You
Fucking
know what's
sorry.
great is Summer House has always been top notch. It's Vanderpump that was a problem.
It's true. And
So out
now
of
I'm
like the
ruining
50
Summer House.
episodes we've done, we have one issue. Don't come for us.
It's me. I'm ruining Summer House. Okay. I will take full responsibility. Okay, so let's read some thoughts from last week's episode. You know what I think people like doing? They like listening to our episode and then commenting.
And responding to us, not responding to the episode.
Yes. So
I
that's
agree.
why we're doing this in the beginning. So Cameron says, Cameron left a lot, so I'm gonna paraphrase a lot of it. But basically she's happy Austin didn't get laid. She's not sold on Paige and Craig yet. Happy though Lindsay's getting laid. Not cool with Paige being a little slut shamey. She said it also felt very junior high and high schoolish. I'm telling you, Paige would bully the fuck out of me. Anyway,
I'm seeing it more though, because somebody pointed out in our DMs like all the consistent times, and I was like, you know what, you're right. It's not just a one-time thing, and I take it every episode as a one-time thing.
Listen, I'm not saying in today's world. I think today's world, people are much more aware of bullying. 2000s girls were
she's
fucking
clicky,
savage.
not a bully. She's clicky.
She's clicky.
Like today's world, she's clicky.
Yeah, she's not going to take the time to bully me. She's just going to give me dirty looks and ignore me. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, she does think Lindsay is toying with everyone, but to be honest, she played the game well and she got the best birthday, and she's unbothered. But yeah, the two girls would have been mad at whether Lindsay hooked up with Muppet Mouth or not. Also, I totally forgot that was Madison that did that. I'm shook.
I know. I saw that tweet you posted.
Yeah, and she can't comprehend how they physically keep partying. Also, she's very offended that the Twitter sphere is calling Danielle a background character in a mean way. Also, we still hate Austin.
Okay, but she used to be. Let's be honest. This season she's not, but she used to be.
You're right. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. She doesn't care about Mackenzie. Listen, I don't fucking either. It's fine. Rooting for Maya coming out of her shell. We love the potato comments. Circling back, she wants to know the Mackenzie Carl wedding +1 timeline. I think we got more of that this episode. And she wants to know what happened between Ciara and Austin that made her go that hard for him. I got a little of this on Watch What Happens Live, kind of.
Okay.
Okay, so personally, Cameron would have apologized if she did something like Lindsay, but Lindsay's not her. And I don't know, there's a little bit of empathy that like Cameron feels, but she doesn't understand how like Lindsay doesn't feel that, but also thinks Paige is just in Ciara's ear. Like she doesn't think Ciara would have really brought it up like that if Paige hadn't
been like
present it.
Like get Italian at the dinner.
Also, she said she doesn't know if she'd throw a glass, but then again, she's never been in a heated argument like that.
I feel like I'd throw it down, not at someone.
Like Kim
like you'd
Richards,
be like, what the fuck?
or no, Lisa Rinna, like a Lisa Rinna.
If I were to throw anything, I think I'd throw it down to get attention, not to like hurt someone.
Yeah. Okay, and then Jackie also left us a comment, which we love Jackie, so we're gonna read hers. Craig is an asshole telling Paige not to read into meeting his parents. Amen. I keep waiting for him to do something to redeem himself, so I can understand why Paige picks him and it just doesn't come through. He's lame. Also, as someone with friends in their 20s who's in their 30s, I can tell you, indeed, I don't give a fuck what people think, and I do sometimes struggle having friends 10 years younger than me. You just know so much about yourself and have had more experiences and tough life lessons, and you realize you won't deal with people's shit anymore. Then you have all the boundaries, which is freeing. Your time is precious, and so are you. And I find something my younger friends think I think it was misspelled. I find sometimes my younger friends think I'm being selfish, but in 10 years they will get it. Ooh,
I agree with that. I just don't
I
like the
love it.
phrase like she'll learn to care less, because like that's not what it is. You learn to like focus your energy on other things.
Differently.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
still
yeah.
have the same amount of care and feelings. I think you just better know how to handle them from a person who like cares a lot and has a lot of like emotions and feelings. I don't think it'll ever go away just because I'm older.
Jackie, I'm with you. I'm 27. I don't give a fuck what people think.
See, it has nothing to do with age.
I would be Lindsay in a second.
Okay, don't go
Okay.
that far. I don't think you'd be like Lindsay in this situation. I think you wouldn't care, but I don't think you would have done this.
I guess we'll just never know.
Okay, we are never living in a house together and sharing.
Don't let your man be into me. No, I'm not. I'm usually I don't give
Okay,
a fuck
that is not a
about.
thing. That's like saying, God, what was it? Um, that like this happened on New Jersey Housewives. That like, I don't like that how you just said that. Don't let your man
What?
be into me, as if like a girl can control a guy's feelings, or like that it's Ciara's
Oh
fault that
no,
Austin isn't into
I'm
her
so sorry.
enough.
I said it as a literal joke. Um, I would never be in a love triangle anyway. If anything, two men are fighting over me. I don't put myself in situations where I have to fight for a man. The minute someone's like, he's mine, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, you'd be done.
I don't give a fuck.
All right, let's
Okay.
get into it.
Sounds good. So previously on Summer House, we had an Italian dinner. Carl's getting into a relationship with Mackenzie. Kyle brings a prenup or brings up a prenup, and Amanda is not down. Craig and Paige are not official, but he asks her to meet his parents in Delaware. Paige and Andrea are no longer hooking up, and he's heartbroken and lonely because he dumped a girl for Paige, and now he is neither. Austin came in for Lindsay's birthday. Oop, burp, sorry. And it caused drama with Ciara because she's not over Austin, and Lindsay and Austin kissed on the mouth, which I hate how they say that, but that's exact quote. Why are two girls going after each other when he's the problem? We have a hurricane coming, literally. Paige is gassing up Ciara to fight. Andrea is super emotional. Ciara confronted Lindsay at dinner. Danielle got involved. Ciara got in her face, so Danielle stood up and Ciara threw a glass, and then Danielle has a candlestick in her hands. So that's where we end off.
Candlestick in her hand.
She does. She just has a lit candlestick that I think she was gonna throw, but she
Oh
didn't.
man.
But it was just like this lit candle.
It was stressful to go through that fight again, because I was like, when are we gonna be done here?
I'm glad it ended in 5 seconds, but also I'm sad it ended in 5 seconds because we could have just gotten it all last episode. I don't know why we had to be like.
I don't like when it's like we got to do a cliffhanger just so we can have a cliffhanger. Like I think you posted a tweet that was like, we waited 7 days for this.
It was 13 seconds. Okay, so we're at the fight. We literally get up when they're pick up when they're getting separated.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda's asking us or asks everyone to take a breath. Andrea's crying outside still. Him and Luke have no idea what happened. Kyle shook. This man just wanted to eat his nice Italian dinner. He was enjoying himself.
Yeah.
And everyone fucking decided to
I
ruin
was like,
it.
listen, I was gonna write down all these words for my vows, and now there's red wine everywhere.
Yeah, everyone's wet. Carl's pants are ruined.
Oh, Carl's beloved white pants.
Ciara goes to her bedroom crying. Maya follows her, says, or no, Maya's still in the kitchen. She says, we're better than this, but she says it a lot. She says it to everyone.
Yeah. I think she's in shock and she's just like, what is going on?
This is not how you handle conflict. Meanwhile, Amanda's like, the red wine ruined Carl's pants. And Kyle's just like, do I eat this spaghetti dinner? That's everyone's vibe.
Kyle's still trying to get food, wondering if there's glass on it.
He was eating
like, during that fight.
Garlic bread. Okay, so Ciara and Maya talk. Ciara says she just lost her shit. Lindsay got the best of her. Maya wants her to move on because Lindsay obviously doesn't see the issue. So Ciara has to be the one to move on, because like if you keep bringing it up and she keeps not seeing the issue, it's just like Ciara is the one that's gonna get hurt in that.
And I like how Maya coaches her through this. I really thought about this. Like, I can't imagine being the two African-American women, two Black girls on this show, like there's that stereotypical thing that if a Black girl gets angry, you know, like they're out of control and all this. So I wonder too, like what Maya was thinking, like, shit, like this is now all on camera. What are people going to say about her? You know, like trying to calm the situation and like coaching her through, like, listen, don't let someone get the best of you. It's not like you, later on, I think we hear Paige a lot saying like, you're better than them. But I like Maya's coaching of, you know, like, don't let someone get to you this way. Like, you know, like how could we react different and what could we have done differently? Not that we're better than them, but like in an argument like
this.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that too. Okay, so then yeah, Ciara's very upset, but Maya's very great at comforting, and Ciara knows she shouldn't have reacted this way, but she reached her breaking point. So then we go outside and Danielle and Lindsay talk. Lindsay says she does understand that it sucks, but Ciara wanted to make Lindsay feel bad, and Lindsay doesn't feel bad. And that's why Ciara went really low. So basically what they're saying is Ciara wasn't expressing her feelings. She was trying to make Lindsay feel guilty instead of saying this is how Ciara feels, and then Lindsay feeling bad because of that. So it was just a big miscommunication. I loved when Ciara said Lindsay's victims have to be drunk. That was low, but it was hilarious.
You know what? There are some times where you want to get dirty in a fight, and you know what? That was a good line.
That was a good one. It was good. So Andrea and Luke are still outside. They're very upset. Andrea's beyond himself because he really liked Paige, but he was getting a different kind of love from Lexi. He was in love with Lexi.
I was like, whoa, that's interesting that he dumped her to like see what could be with Paige when he wasn't in love with Paige, but he was getting there with Lexi.
I know. I
kind of feel like this is revisionist history a little bit. Now that like things are not with Paige, it's like, okay, I did have it with Lexi.
Yeah. He's like realizing what he has now that it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which fair, but it doesn't work out all the time. So
it's always the like, well, Ian, it was like kind of like the grass is greener situation, probably with like the Paige. Yes. Like, oh my God, like I'm gonna have that all summer. I'm gonna be with her. Like what we had was great. It'll be just like Vermont. Like screw Craig. You know, like we'll be in a house together again. And then it's like, Craig. Just kidding, fuck Andrea, or not fucking Andrea.
Sad.
So like Lexi was the better option.
Yeah. So also Andrea is very upset because he's been struggling because he can't see his family. So he's also really sad about that and lonely. And Luke understands he's been guilty of this. Many people have called Luke a fuckboy. I don't think so. Looking back, he wasn't super definition of fuckboy. He was a little not great boy, but a real fuckboy on Summer House was Kyle or Carl back in the day. Like those two were
or Austin.
Austin's a literal still fuckboy.
I think he got a bad rap with the whole narrative, and Hannah. It was the whole storyline of 2 seasons ago.
Wanna know how great Luke is? He went to a Knicks game and brought his dentist.
What?
There was this girl, and I was like, oh my God, does he have a girlfriend? So I listened, and he's like, this is my dentist. And I was like, oh. So he's friends with his dentist.
Okay, my dentist is my friend.
He's not bringing girls on dates. He's hanging out with his dentist.
He's just trying to get that clean, like that whitening for free.
Fuck yeah. So we've made it. It's Friday, 9:15. We've already destroyed at least 3 wine glasses. Craig, because we're all asking for Craig's opinion, he thinks this is bullshit that Austin made out with Lindsay, because Austin and Ciara are as official as he is with Paige. Which, what the
I was like, you are kind of giving Austin and Ciara more credit, but I do think they're on a more similar playing field. I think Craig then cares more and like treats her better, but like their setup, is pretty similar.
But then Craig and Paige shouldn't be exclusive. Like
they're not. That's the thing is they're not exclusive right now. They would move towards being exclusive, but right now they are in the same situation as.
Yes,
they just treat each other better.
he would be pissed if Paige made out with someone, but technically they're not exclusive or dating.
Yes.
So it's just, I don't know.
I think it is, it's like similar setups, but I think the way Ciara feels is how both Paige and Craig feel for each other.
It's like
the feelings are different in those two situations, but the like, we're not exclusive. When we're not together, we're not together. But when they're together, it's very like on with kind of both parties, it seems like, because Craig mentions that like Ciara went down to Charleston and, you know, like he was supposed to come up previously. And I'm sure he has been up to New York before Summer House. So
Austin's just a dick.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're in the girls' room at Ciara, Paige, and Maya. You know, Paige says it's not great to throw the glass.
Ooh, I didn't like this.
Ciara's more sad that she threw the glass at Danielle, which
I did like that.
Yeah, that's like not.
I mean, not that she should have thrown it at Lindsay, but I think she realizes like Danielle got a lot of my anger when she didn't deserve it.
Yes. So there's glass in the meat and cheeses, so we gotta fucking throw those away.
Honestly, this part was the most heartbreaking, is the cleanup crew being like, we gotta throw away all the food. We just gotta dump it all.
Don't eat the cheese. So Luke and Andrea finally come inside. I don't know where the fuck they've been, but they come inside. It's not like they saw
further out whenever Lindsay and Danielle walked outside. They like walked.
They saw them walk outside. Were they not like weird that they're not at their Italian dinner?
No.
How long have Luke and Andrea been outside?
Clearly a while, and I'm shocked they didn't hear the yelling.
These two men, I don't know what, they're just having a bro moment. I love it, but also confused. They walk in and they're like, what has happened? Yeah, no idea. So it's 10:03. Danielle calls Robert. She's in the bathroom. She's telling him she just like didn't expect it. She's very shocked at what happened. She lets him know. Luke and Andrea get the 411 from Paige and Amanda. Lindsay's ready to fucking go out. You know what? I respect. You just want to get out of the house. You're kind of pissed. You're gonna let some anger out. I would need to get out of this house. I'd be like, get me out of here.
Lindsay's good at like just moving on and like going on to the next thing, being like, all right, staying here clearly is not the best thing. Like, let me focus on something fun.
Poor Danielle is like, Robert, I'm so upset. And Lindsay's like, are we going out?
Yeah. Lordy.
So they're all like hanging out in Luke's room, and Ciara comes in, and I'm like, oh, is it gonna be awkward? Because this girl just like not only ruined dinner, but like kind of ruined the food. So now we're all fucking starving.
Yes.
But no, she's like, sorry for ruining dinner and getting wine on your clothes. And everyone's like, no worries. And honestly, this was a big hit on Twitter. People are pissed.
Okay, but the way they're saying it on Twitter is as if they all went to Ciara and said this thing. Like they're all sitting talking about what happened and telling Andre and Luke. And like Ciara comes to them is the only thing I want to say about the tweets that were posted.
My only thing is, I feel like if someone threw a glass, I would kind of be like Maya, where I'd be like, it's not good you threw a glass.
Yeah.
Thanks for your apology. But also like, I feel like we're all a little shaken or whatever.
Yeah. Like there is like honesty needed in a friendship. That's why I didn't like what Paige said prior. Like probably shouldn't have thrown the glass. It's like, no, hey, I love you. But like, that was not cool. Is like what you need to say.
And I think it was probably edited out, but Twitter was pissed that no one comforted Danielle.
Which I see that, but in the moment, you know, obviously they get pulled away and Lindsay and Danielle go outside, and like, that's the best, that like Ciara's laying in her bed, calming down, and they're over there calming down and like being there for each other. So I think it's hard whenever it like gets back to it, because they're all sitting in Luke's room and Danielle's now upstairs, that like, you don't see her yet. I think they're just trying to give people space and like handle the situation inside and the cleanup, and like,
that's true,
not bring attention to it.
Knowing Carl, I'm sure he at some point went to check on Danielle. I think it got edited out.
I think so too.
Man, the riots on Twitter. I stayed away from most of it on my tweets just because like Listen, I appreciate the drama, but I've been tweeting about Austin, Ciara, and Lindsay now for like fucking weeks. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
This shit, there was so many other funny things that happened in this episode. I like didn't care about this that much either.
Yeah.
Moved on, but I think it's important to mention.
I think
Bravo
it
fans are
happened.
pissed.
I think it's just like we don't have time for it. And it's
Yeah.
if you think about a show as entertainment rather than like being great people, nobody cares if like, I mean, people care because they're writing on Twitter,
People
but
care.
like in a showrunner who's trying to bring drama, you don't
It-
care if Carl said, "Hey
Yeah.
Danielle, you doing good? Are you okay?"
Yes, I just think it was so funny. So it's 10:18. Lindsay looks hot. Craig thinks tonight was fine. He's like, it was a fine night. We're fine. We're all fine. He says it's not okay to throw a drink at someone, but he does explain to Lindsay in the kitchen, hey, this might be where Ciara is coming from.
He did a wonderful job as like a third party.
He did a great job without coming at Austin too hard.
Agreed. And like, or like shaming Lindsay was just like, hey, think through this.
Yes, I think personally, just because I'm me, I would have wanted him to come a little harder for Austin, but I'll take this.
But if you think about who his audience, who he's talking to, Lindsay, she
can't
doesn't,
come hard for us.
Like she doesn't care if like we all hate Austin.
Yeah. So we come to the conclusion that Austin's a liar, but it was fucked up that Lindsay and Austin made out. Great.
Yeah.
End of story. Honestly though, so if I'm Lindsay, I'm totally Lindsay in this situation, I would say, sure, it's fucked up. Also though, I feel bad that Ciara's upset. I didn't mean to upset her. At the same time, I also like Austin, so I'm not going to like lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
I think the problem is though,
like if she liked Austin that much, it's like you need like just being more upfront about your feelings then.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure didn't Ciara and Lindsay have a conversation this summer already about Austin, and Lindsay was like, we're just friends, like why are you even asking me about this?
I think they are just friends though.
But if Lindsay were to say in that
kiss
moment,
on the mouth.
I know, but you saying like if Lindsay has feelings, like she could have just been like, well, I have feelings for him, so like let's move on. And I'm saying that like it kind of is shitty because earlier in the summer she told Ciara that like it was not like they're just friends and nothing's happening. And
they don't have that much feelings though, because Lindsay's having a flavor of the week and I love it. Love her. Anyway, it's 10:44. Lindsay changes out of her hot outfit because not everyone else is as hot as her, but we're going to go out. Lindsay, Luke, Danielle, Carl, the foursome. We love it. We're a party. Luke and Danielle are vibing. It's a good time. So it's Saturday, 12:38. Everyone's going to bed. Craig and Paige are in the kitchen talking about visiting his house in Delaware.
Oh my God.
It's not a big deal, everyone. It's not a big deal. He didn't mean it like come meet my parents. He meant it as like come to my house and my parents will be there. Dummy.
It's not like he said like I want you to come see my hometown and they're staying like at an inn in town and will like run into his parents. Like you're gonna go stay at his parents' house, I bet.
Mom, Dad, what are you doing here?
Funny to see you in my childhood home, Mom and Dad. What are you doing
like, we're just gonna eat crab. It's not a big deal. And I'm like,
no
crab.
Big deal.
So drunk Kyle, he's alone. He's in the kitchen. He's eating. He's dancing.
Drunk Carl or Kyle doing drunk Kyle things.
We love it. So it's 2:13 a.m. Luke, like the people from the bar made it home. Luke and Kyle are stretching, but Kyle better not fart because Luke's doing that thing.
I was really hoping it would come.
I love that Luke's like, don't fart. And Kyle's like, no, seriously, dude. And Luke's like, no, seriously, dude. Don't fart.
It's like, wait, how is Kyle the most drunk one and Luke went out? Oh, because it's Kyle.
What did Kyle do tonight? Why didn't we get a whole camera on him?
Well, he didn't get to eat the pasta, so he's even more hammered.
He has no carbs. So, yeah, Kyle, he makes it into bed barely, and he kind of inchworms his way to lay down. Very funny. So now it's 8:46 a.m. Carl's doing push-ups. Paige is on her phone. Maya checks in with Ciara, sees how she's feeling, and then we all get woken up from the hurricane alarm. So no sleeping in. Kyle, we're awake.
At first, when I heard that, I thought Amanda set an alarm just to fuck with Kyle.
I did too. I was like, Kyle
Because
set
he
an
was like, "Are
alarm
you
for-"
kidding me?"
He goes, this damn hurricane.
And
I was like,
I know.
oh,
I was like, "Damn, that would have been genius. Good
that
idea,
would been
Amanda."
so. I thought drunk Kyle set an alarm for himself. Even funnier. Just
Then the
thought
Lord,
that.
be a good person tomorrow. Don't yell at your fiance.
So it's 9:41. Kyle and Lindsay are in the kitchen. There's still glass. No one cleaned up the glass, which is fine. Honestly, I wouldn't want to clean up the glass if it was me.
The amount they talk about this though, like, hey, careful, there's probably a lot of glass around there. Like they didn't really clean it up.
No, also they've cleaned up the glass at least 6 times already. So I don't know how there's still glass unless she broke like at least 17 of these wine glasses.
Well, I wonder if they like didn't really like sweep it up.
I wouldn't have. That night, I would have went straight to bed.
Like
Been like,
vacuum
I'm
it up
out.
a little bit, like, or just put signs up that says shoes only.
You should let people know because I'm pretty sure Luke walked in when he got
Every
back from the
person
side.
when they wake up walked into that kitchen without shoes on.
Yeah, 100%. And all of them have glass in their feet. Kyle fell asleep fully clothed and sideways, but he had a good sleep, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know how he's still alive.
And then Paige does that thing where she goes into her girl voice and goes, I'm gonna miss you. And Craig's
God.
like, I'm right here. And it's gross. It's like I have nothing else to say besides it's weird and gross.
I don't want to see this progress any further because I know what it's like in present day and I dislike it so much. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
done. We're done.
you know how like, can we just like bleep this out for my sake on my every time I watch it? I don't want these like cutesy things. I'm not into it.
What if Bravo just cut it? It just goes dead now.
It's
Like
like
it's dead black.
and then back.
And then it comes back to the next
Yeah.
scene. So next scene is Saturday, 10:21 a.m. The boys are up. We're kind of cleaning. Ciara, Maya, and Paige hang out, which this was another big thing.
Ugh.
Ciara didn't clean up her mess. Twitter erupted.
Okay, I understand why like the night of she wasn't because like you do not need to be in the like neutral zones.
Yes.
Like go in your room and don't talk to each other. But yeah, I feel like the morning of she should have walked downstairs and said, because you already know it's cleaned up too. It's just you got to put the fake like effort in. Like, hey,
Yeah.
is there anything I can clean up? Like,
I feel bad.
yeah. Go
Yeah,
around
no.
and do your apology tour in the morning and put your little effort in to pretend like you want to help.
Yeah, no,
It's
people
all about
erupted.
appearances.
We got a few DMs about this one too. This was probably the one tweet that I got the most DMs on was people were pissed that Ciara didn't clean up. So
I'm not shocked though. Like she doesn't help clean up anything. So
I know. I was like, this is her vibe.
This is standard operating practice.
Expect less. Okay, so they talk about what a night. They fight every dinner. Paige's asks if Ciara's going to talk to Lindsay at the beach. Ciara says she's going to talk to Danielle first and apologize and then talk to Lindsay. And Ciara knows she overreacted.
Yeah.
So 10:49, Carl's back from his run. Maya's super concerned about this hurricane. Luke says a little rain never hurt anyone.
He ain't wrong.
From the Midwest, we've never been in a hurricane.
This is how we treat tornadoes. And that's a problem because like the tornadoes don't bring all this water that floods.
Question. Have you ever been in like a legit tornado?
Yes, I literally one New Year's Eve day, I was driving in St. Louis with my dad and there were like tornado warnings and we just kept driving. And then we got to Costco and somebody was like, yeah, there was a tornado in Sunset Hills. And we were like, oh, we were just driving there. And they're like, yeah, 2 minutes ago. And we're like, yeah, we were just there.
That was us. I've been in one tornado. It wasn't like directly where I was, but it was the town over in my college town.
Mhm.
Honestly, all those homes got destroyed. It was very devastating, like a very bad time.
Oh yeah.
But my mom
if I
was
saw
there that week.
like touch down on the ground near me,
Yeah.
like in my visuals, I mean, I would go in the basement, but like a tornado warning, you know how those things can change so often. You're like, I'm gonna stand outside until I see it.
Oh my God, the tornado warnings are just like, oh, again. And then you just lay where you never move.
This sounds
Like-
like this is about to sound actually way worse. And I probably shouldn't say this, but it's kind of like Amber Alerts. You see them and you're like, oh, cool. Like, okay. Like, there's a car out there that I'm never
Oh
going to be able to
man.
find. Like,
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
like,
like I'm sitting at home. What is this? How am I going to do anything?
my only thing about an Amber Alert is they're like, it's a Toyota Camry. I couldn't tell you what a Toyota Camry looks like to save my
I
freaking
only
life.
know the Fiat Chrysler cars because that's the account I worked at our old job.
I know nothing. I know colors of cars and that's it.
If I was driving and I saw the car, I would call. But I'm like, if you're sitting at home, you're never going to see a car in my living room unless it drove right
I
through my house.
agreed. But I even if I saw the car, I'd be like, that was a black car. Is it the
You're like,
make and model? I do
is that
not
a
know.
Ford? And they're like,
I'd be the
no.
worst. I'd be the worst at trying to. This is why I don't work for the FBI. Anyway, it's 10:49, or I already said that 10:49. Oh, Lil Ray never hurt anyone. Anyway, Carl's ready for beach volleyball. He's actually an incredible volleyball player, and we get childhood photos to prove it. He was on a
Love.
team.
I love this. Like, I love the dedication of producers being like, Carl, I need that photo.
Yeah. I can't wait for me to get onto a reality TV show and they go, we're gonna have a basketball game, and me go, oh my God, I was an incredible basketball player. And I give a team photo, but actually I was a bench warmer, but I'm in the team photo.
That's all that matters. All you need is the photo to prove you were on a team.
And I'm gonna be better than these like
The
losers
stats
who don't play.
aren't recorded on the internet. Come on.
Yeah. So there's two teams. There's team A, if you were born in the 80s, you're on Carl's team. And then the other team is the 90s plus Craig. So Meredith and I would be on the 90s team. We are
Love it.
babies.
Yes.
I
This also
personally
confirmed to me everybody's like where everybody was born. I really knew who'd be on each team, but I was like, okay. I did not know Craig was an 80s baby.
I
though.
didn't know. I literally wrote
But
down
I bet he's
Craig
like
was in the
89.
80s.
Actually,
okay, so
no, because remember we said he's about the same age as Chris and Cavallari, so he's probably like 87.
45.
No, the year he was born in.
Oh.
That would make him 34 if he was born in 87, I think.
I think he's around there, probably.
Turning like 35. Yeah.
Paige is dating literally the oldest man. Anyway.
Okay, he's not dating Kyle.
That's true. Got me. Okay, so Lindsay's washing some dishes. She says she feels okay. Things got out of hand, and then Ciara walks in the kitchen.
This was so awkward.
Oh, I felt it for everyone else. I didn't care about them. I cared about the other people.
But I do appreciate Ciara just going right back upstairs, and because it's like, I'm not starting this again. Like I'm not talking.
She went right upstairs. Lindsay continued washing dishes, didn't even turn around. Gotta respect it.
I appreciate the like, we're just gonna be.
Yeah. So Paige starts putting makeup on top of makeup because we gotta start getting ready to go. So the 80s team has shirts. They know what they're wearing. I appreciated this. I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. The 90s team at first, I was like, okay, they're just gonna wear hot swimwear to distract the other team. But then I start to get it that they're dressing up as the other team. Mm-hmm. Which is absolutely fucking hilarious. Would I want to play volleyball in a wig? No, but can I appreciate the effort? 1000%. It was fantastic.
I know. Whenever I first saw, I think it was Maya's mullet, I was like, oh, we're just gonna be like the 80s in general. Smart. And then I was like, and then they explained it, and I was like, oh my God, I love this even more. Like, I love an effort here.
I love that you're like, we're just gonna implement we're just gonna copy when they were married. LOL. So Ciara really quick asked Danielle to talk. Ciara apologizes, says she was sorry her emotions got the best of her. She didn't mean to throw a glass. And Danielle says, Lindsay stuff aside, she's trying to have a friendship with Ciara. And Ciara still does this to her. And Danielle just doesn't feel safe in this friendship she's trying to build.
Because I don't even think it was like the yelling at Lindsay and putting that stuff in there. Like, because I don't think Danielle the next day, if like Ciara had just like said mean things about Lindsay, would have felt this way. It's whenever Ciara stood up and said, like, you guys, like both of you have done so many things to like, I don't know what she actually said, but basically like not include her or not be friends with her. I think Danielle's like, I've done a lot. And if you don't see my effort, like, how can I want a friendship with you in the future?
Yeah. So it's clear Ciara's hurt. And Danielle always tries to see it both ways. And she asked Ciara, like,
Yeah.
you have to understand that I hold Lindsay accountable, but also like I see where she's also coming from. Like I'm able to see both.
Yeah.
And Danielle just wants some time and space after last night, but she appreciates the talk. Ciara said that she is hurt. And Danielle even proves it. And she said Lindsay won't do a lot of things right, but it's worth another conversation.
I love how Danielle handled this. And I really appreciate Ciara like coming in and I think that was a really good apology. She didn't like use a but. She didn't give an explanation, or she gave an explanation just saying like my emotions got the best of me, like, and that's why I did it. And I'm really sorry.
And I like that she understands, like Danielle's putting up a boundary for right now. She's saying, I need time and space,
Yeah.
which I think is very big of Danielle. And Ciara understands that as well.
Yeah, this was a really positive talk.
I think this was great.
Yeah.
So 12-11, beach volleyball is departing in 10 minutes. The 90s team looks great. Oh my God, we gotta freaking talk about it. My dynamic duo. You already know who I'm gonna talk about. You already know my dynamic duo. It's Paige and Luke. Paige dresses up as Luke. This is the friendship I want and need. It's this.
And
this
for me, it's the look at my abs as she walks down the stairs.
Look at my abs. It was so cute. I love it. And Luke loves it too. So Maya and Amanda come down as Kyle. And Maya even has a sty on her eye, which is fucking hilarious.
It's the details. It's always in the details. Like, it's just like Paige's motorcycle blow up, like Kyle's sty.
That was fantastic. And then maybe the funniest one, because I laughed out loud. Andrea is Lindsay, and he fully embodies the character. Like, fully comes down as Lindsay Hubbard.
A few taglines. I love it.
Amazing.
I wish he would have had a sandwich in his hand.
Oh, that would have
But it's not like he was there for that season, so I get it.
Okay, so this is when I said, how come no one's Danielle? And we found out Danielle posted on Instagram that Alex was supposed to be her, but he couldn't make it this weekend. AKA the producers told him to not show up.
Word on the street we got is one weekend Alex has asked not to come in. We think it's this weekend.
Oh, it's kind of sad. Listen, I don't.
But he will be back the rest of the season, is what we hear. Like, he's not done with the show.
I don't miss him, but I feel bad for him.
I agree, because like Maya's new, so she's not obviously getting the most screen time, but they're able to hone in on things, and they were able to hone in on that for Alex, that talk with his dad. Like, I think that was really great. So it's like, you're not going to get the best TV time, but at least like being a part of the conversation is helpful. Like, here's where we would have talked about him being, Danielle, and like that would have been really great. It's just, I don't know,
very sad.
Building a relationship with the audience and like your housemates, these are actually real friendships.
Yeah, I would rather just people like don't have me on the show if I'm just gonna get cut like this.
Exactly. I feel like I want to know what the casting decision was here, because it doesn't seem like this is the best fit for him or the show.
Yeah, he's Andrea's.
I'm curious,
friend.
like what made them, or like how that casting process went, like who recommended him to the show, and Andrea. Maybe he just takes a lot of time to warm up, and so maybe like a second season he would be okay, but who knows?
Blah over it. Anyway, it's beach Saturday. The waves are fucking crazy because we're in a hurricane and we still decided to come to the beach. I'm blaming Bravo. I'm fully blaming.
I think so too. Like, people kept saying like, why would they go play volleyball in a hurricane? But it's like, you've set this whole thing up to film. It's kind of hard to walk it back.
So yeah, we're all gonna play, but Amanda's gonna sit out. She just feels like she'd be better drinking rosé on the sidelines. I appreciate. She is nothing but a great cheerleader. She's killing it.
And like, she basically has that whole bottle of rosé to herself.
Yeah, good for her. She was a smart move.
Amen.
So Carl's actually really good at volleyball. Lindsay's not, but her falling is honestly the funniest thing. I did not stop laughing.
Oh, this is just a train wreck of a volleyball game on both sides, though.
Kyle yells, "Who's fucking tonight?" And Amanda goes, "Not you, my brother." And he's like, "You're right. It's not me." Very funny. So Amanda plays for 1 second. She fucks it all up. But the 90s team ends up winning against all odds, but everyone gets a medal because we're all winners here.
I love it.
I was surprised. I think it was Craig. I think if we had Craig,
And they did the Olympics last summer. So maybe this was probably like while the Olympics are happening. I love this theme even more.
I love games. I love when we do games.
Me too. Who doesn't want a
Okay.
medal?
So the waves are so crazy. We're going to take some selfies with them. Carl and Kyle talk a little after their selfies. Mackenzie's good. Her birthday was yesterday. He sent flowers. But then I got confused because Kyle's like, I thought her birthday was Friday. And I was like, yesterday was Friday, you dingbat. So I don't know if this was edited weird or maybe this was Sunday. I don't know. Because we didn't get Sunday.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah. So even though Carl sent flowers, he still needed a break and wanted to be by himself and be in his comfort zone. And like Mackenzie maybe makes him happy, kind of, sort of, but sobriety still is number one thing. And he has to hit that 1 year.
You can see he's so hesitant about the Mackenzie thing.
I would rather a guy be like, I'm not into her than be like, I might maybe like her a little bit.
I know. I wonder if you think about it though, this is like the first person he's met and really hung out with who doesn't really drink by choice. And so I feel like he's attracted to that and like being in a good situation like that and wondering if like that's not a very common situation. So like worried to like let it go.
Yeah, maybe. But then Craig and Amanda sit. Craig has a gun tattoo. Did you see that?
Was that fake?
Oh, because what? I don't know, maybe.
Because Paige had all those weird tattoos all over her. So I wonder if he took one.
I thought it was just because she was Luke.
Yeah, but like what if there were extras and he's like, I want one on.
Oh, maybe. I literally go, is that gun tattoo?
Oh my God, I'm not sure, but I don't think he does because I've never seen one on Southern Charm.
I've never seen it before. And he's been shirtless plenty of times in Southern Charm.
And that just doesn't
that makes sense.
Make
I
sense
didn't even
to
think
me.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably fake. So we talk about Paige getting invited to Delaware. Craig again says it's not formal. It's just supposed to be fun. Okay. My parents might be there. Okay. We're going to stay at their house, but we might not even see them. But this is what Amanda says. Parents are a lot. And she asks, like, where do you see this going? And Craig says he sees this, heading towards a relationship because he wouldn't date someone that he didn't see himself walking down the aisle with, because relationships either end up in marriage or breakups. So
I like that that's how he's thinking, because that's how everyone should think.
Agreed. I just love that Amanda's ears perk up. She's like, we're walking down this aisle.
Wedding?
We're proposing. Do you have a ring?
You have a ring on you today?
So then back to Kyle and Carl. Kyle's getting harassed by his wedding planner. God forbid. And then he's like, by the way, do we think a prenup should happen?
I know.
Carl says that's a great idea because all it is a conversation before about what's his and hers.
Yep.
Carl's amazing.
Carl gets it. And I think Carl, like, making it sound so simple and normal, like, kind of eases Kyle to be like, okay, this is a normal conversation. But like, Kyle's an idiot.
The biggest. So then Kyle doesn't want to make it awkward, but lawyers are telling him to get a prenup ASAP because you need to get the prenup a certain amount of days before the wedding.
If you signed it the day of your wedding, you could technically say you were under duress and it's not a valid contract.
There it is. He's also worried that Amanda's parents, but Carl says as long as Amanda and Kyle are on the same page, who cares?
I agree with that. However, if she's pissed about it, her parents are also going to be pissed about it.
Yeah, 100%. I personally think I would be fine. I think my parents would be pissed if someone was like, we want a prenup. Like, I think if I genuinely didn't care either way, my parents would be like, no. Because my parents don't believe in prenups. Me, I love a good prenup.
But I think you would talk to them and they'd just be like, okay, it's your decision. They'd like live with it. It's not like they'd like be actively fighting you.
I'm saying if I was indifferent, I think my parents would fight for me not to get one.
Gotcha.
So parents are weird.
But I think half of the upsetness would probably be how close we are to the wedding. Like, why didn't we talk about this 3 years ago?
Yeah. And Amanda and Claire. Yeah, that's like I said, the first thing in a relationship. I'm like, we're getting a prenup immediately.
You're like, thanks for
Hey,
buying dinner. By the way, in our prenup, here's how it'll go.
here's what's happening. Okay, so Danielle and Lindsay talk. Lindsay says, and I don't love this, Lindsay says Ciara isn't brave enough to come up to her.
I
And
don't like that.
Danielle puts her in her place and says it's probably just space she's looking for.
Yeah. Do you really want to fight at the beach? Why ruin this event as well?
So Danielle explains how her conversation went with Ciara, and Lindsay starts to understand how it hurt Ciara, and she says she didn't want to hurt Ciara.
Mhm.
So Lindsay didn't realize that Austin was going to choose her and not Ciara, which I think might have been the other thing, because listen, hear me out on this. If you know Austin's coming, right? If I'm Lindsay, Austin's coming. I know he's probably going to hang out with Ciara. So I have like kind of free range to flirt with him and nothing's going to happen, right? Because he's going to choose Ciara in the end. So I will just get off like unscathed. But then he shows interest back. And then I'm like, let's make out.
And like in the kitchen when
great.
Craig and Lindsay were talking, Lindsay said that Austin said a lot of things to her. And Craig said like, okay, but he didn't say those things to Ciara. And I think that switched a flipped a switch in Lindsay's mind to be like, oh my God, things he might have been telling me, like he probably wasn't sharing with her, like this is a different playing field than I saw it on my birthday.
Yes. Which I think it's okay how she saw it on her birthday, right? She's hammered. She's out for herself on her birthday.
Yeah.
She's not putting 2 and 2 together. I think now is when she needs to realize that.
Yes. What happened. Listen, actions happen, things happen, miscommunications happen. But yeah, I think it's just like showing that like you care about other people's feelings when they're expressing them and like not wanting someone else to be upset.
But we also get shady Bravo editors and they show exactly what the fuck Lindsay was doing.
Oh, I know. Cause Danielle's like, okay, I know you didn't want to hurt her, but did you like all the whole situation? And Lindsay's like, and then boom, all the moments.
It was awesome. It was so awesome. So Danielle just says it's collateral damage. So then
I think that was the perfect description. I think Lindsay's like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong, but subsequently, because of the situation, she was hurt.
Yes. Austin did things wrong, but because I associated with him that weekend, I'm part
somebody was hurt in the end. Issue. Yeah. So that's what I need to show compassion about.
We cut to a scene that cracked me up. This man, Kyle, is running with these damn birds and he fucking loves every second of it. It was amazing. It was amazing. Do you know how many tweets were about this? It was amazing. People love this scene.
You're a bird, I'm a bird.
So we cut to Paige and Amanda. Paige maybe hit the ball twice. Amanda only hit it once. So shout out.
Hey, but Kyle said when Amanda got in the game, that's when they started winning.
There it was. So Amanda tells Paige about the conversation with Craig, and she mainly says Craig probably is going to marry you.
Craig says he wants to marry you. He wants to walk down the aisle with you. I'm pretty sure is what she said. And it's like, okay, that is not what he said. But
I also love
this is definitely a girl talk moment.
Amanda set it up like, I don't even want to tell you what he said because it's so cute. And Paige is like, oh my God, what? Craig wants to marry you. And she's like,
he has an engagement ring on him right now. His family's most expensive diamond ring.
When are we doing it? In Delaware? It's going to happen in Delaware?
Okay. You're getting married in Delaware.
So then as they're talking about how cute this is and planning Paige's wedding, a wave comes, knocks him over, ruins Paige's phone, and all their shit is just under a wave.
You know what? Mother Nature stepped in and was like, we're talking about weddings. Let me tell you both. Neither of you should get married.
Yeah. You're going to drown before you get married. Let's do this shit. Everyone gets hit with this wave. Luke yells, hide your kid, hide your wives. The waves are here. So we all go home. It's Saturday. Hey, losers, we're jumping in the pool. The 90s kid or the 80s kids have to jump in this pool, but everyone ends up joining. And then we see Andrea's humongous bulge. What? So I wasn't the only one looking. The
camera the next time on, we find some information out.
That camera was right there. So then we have to move everything inside because the hurricane's coming. Someone rude, I think it was Carl, tells Luke to not save the fire pit.
Yeah,
and
no
Luke
one
is
cares
like,
about your fire pit.
Luke straight up is like, it ties the whole backyard together.
Like, this is the best part of the backyard. What do you mean, go F my fire pit?
Pardon? My
Excuse
fire
me.
pit is the first thing to get saved. Fuck yourself. How about that?
Fuck that chair you're carrying in. The fire pit, there's there's 7 chairs.
We can sit on the ground if we're warm with the fire. Okay, you assholes.
This is the only way I get on this show is if I build a fire.
It looks like my contract's up. I'm gonna end up like Alex. So, because she doesn't want to work, Ciara asked Lindsay to talk.
Oh my God, I thought the same thing.
I was like, this bitch doesn't want to do any work.
She's working twice as hard not to work.
So her and Lindsay talk. Ciara just wants Lindsay to know where she was coming from. She felt hurt because of the way her and Austin left things. They left off not serious, but she still had feelings and she felt like Lindsay acted disrespectfully. And Lindsay says her and Austin have always had a thing, and it's the nature of their friendship. They kiss on the mouth, in case you guys didn't know. And it's made their significant others insecure. And this is where I'm like, no, then your relationship's the issue. If multiple people are concerned about this,
it's a problem. It's a problem.
This is bullshit. Let me tell you, I've had boys be insecure about my guy friends, but I don't.
If you're not doing anything, then it's like the other person's problem. It's your significant other's problem. But if you're actively doing something and they're like, I don't like that. I don't like that you kiss him on the mouth. That makes me uncomfortable. Like, you should not do that if you really care about your significant other.
Fucking Stravi is just like, please stop kissing him on the mouth.
And Lindsay's like, straddling him right now.
He made me a sandwich. So so this is where I'm like, if it's made multiple people insecure, like not even just Stravi or just Austin's girlfriend, like multiple people are concerned about
she basically said it was a consistent problem in both sides, both relationships.
We're such good friends that we can't hold a relationship because we kiss on the mouth. So she says she does like Austin, but Lindsay apologizes for her part in everything that happened. And Ciara says she's gonna take a step back from Austin and not compete. And Lindsay and Ciara are good to move forward. And honestly, I think they both handled themselves really well here.
The only thing I didn't like what Lindsay said is she said, I really apologize for like my portion of it, which I was trying to tell you last night. And I was like, no, you weren't. You were sitting there so unbothered saying like one word response.
Lindsay wasn't listening at all. She was thinking about her pasta. She was thinking about Austin's dick. She was thinking about that guy from Mexico. She didn't give a fuck.
She was thinking about how good that makeout was with her BFF Austin.
That's true, because they open mouth kiss. Open mouth. Ew. Disgusting. Anyway, it's 5:58. Craig and Paige had fun. He loves her fake tats, but she's not gonna get real ones because you don't put a bumper sticker on a Bentley, baby.
Hell no. I agree, Paige.
Well, so Danielle comes in.
Listen, you can have tattoos and be awesome too.
Oh, I think tattoos are so hot. I don't have tattoos because I'm a sucker for pain.
Don't get dumb tattoos. That's my one thing.
I regret everything, so I would get a tattoo and immediately regret it. Like there's nothing I want,
and they scare me.
Yeah, no.
I think a lot of people's tattoos are really cool. I would look at it like a paint job instead of like a bumper sticker, but like a random like ass tat is going to be like a bumper sticker, like in Vanderpump Rules. Those are bumper stickers.
If any single men for some reason are listening to this podcast, I think sleeves are fucking hot. That shit, that's dope. The only thing I don't like is a thigh tattoo. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think I just hate so many people that have those that I'm associating.
I love a good rib one on a girl. Ooh, a nice little quote.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Anyway, Danielle comes in for maybe the most awkward conversation, even though Ciara was like on her apology tour. This somehow made me the most awkward. Yeah. Do Paige and Danielle not like each other?
No, I wonder if like Danielle thought she was walking into something and was trying to like ease into it, but we never got background to this too. So the way it was set up then in like editing was also just like funky because Danielle walks in and she's like, "How's
Hey,
Charleston?"
yeah. Hey, Craig, Robert texted you about
Yeah,
Charleston. And Craig's like,
yeah.
yeah.
He's
And
like,
so
"Yeah."
basically, we all know Robert thought he had his dream job in New York. It wasn't. So he quit. And that's why he can show up for Danielle all the time in the Hamptons. Anyway, he got a new dream job in
I think it's just an
Charleston.
offer. I don't know if he took it.
Okay, yeah. So he has a new offer for a dream job in Charleston. Danielle's just iffy about maybe spending so much time in Charleston, which, like,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna spoiler. I don't think he ever went to Charleston because currently he's in Aspen
I agree with that.
and he's opening like a restaurant in Aspen or cooking for something. So I don't think he took this one, but
Yeah. But hey,
probably
it might be
because,
part of the same like restaurant group because
yeah,
like that is a thing.
maybe it's because this conversation was so awkward. She didn't want to have to redo this because,
Well,
man, I
hey, I
hated it.
mean, Daniel says like if Paige is convinced on Charleston, like maybe it's a great city. I think this could have worked well because Paige and Craig are making it work. Like you're on the same time zone still.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not there's probably direct flights. Like it's not too crazy of a long distance relationship.
I guess Paige loves Charleston. And then we find out from Craig they're the number one city in the country and they're number two for food, which, like, maybe, but also food in Charleston is iffy for me. I'm sure it's good,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't
I
be
wonder if
like,
like tourism, it's like tourism voting, I bet.
I'm sure.
Like these aren't locals probably voting on their own city.
It's Shep. Shep just keeps refreshing and voting for himself.
Yeah, I always wonder how things like that, like who I've never seen any. Have you ever seen any like poll like this where you're like, oh, I'm gonna vote on the what city has the best food? Like who
No,
do they poll for this?
I literally have no idea. But we did get a DM that was like, I totally agree. I love Charleston. I'm obsessed
I've
with
heard
it.
amazing things.
I think it's beautiful. Could I live there? I don't know because I'm very much a city type person,
Mhm.
but dope. I'd love to go spend a month in Charleston. Sounds
I
lovely.
wouldn't
Great.
mind if my boyfriend was opening a restaurant there and I got to
Yeah,
go there
no,
like
dope.
for like 6 months.
Yeah, cool as shit. I'll go visit sometimes,
I'm
but live
in.
in my city. Um,
Exactly.
but Craig really kind of sells Danielle on it. She's still not convinced, but she leaves.
He
And
convinces her to
then,
like go visit and like
yes,
test it out a little bit.
he's like, text me. And then Paige is like, do you work for the Board of Tourism?
This is okay. This is like a type of relationship I like to see between them where they're like
Yeah.
shitting on each other. Like,
Yes, it's fun. It's
yeah.
better than that.
What are you
I'm
paid by the
gonna
Board of Tourism? Like, damn.
So it's 6:26. We got to go because the hurricane's coming. And Kyle, though, he's not convinced. Where's the hurricane? Show me evidence.
Oh my God.
What
Everyone's like,
hurricane?
get out of here.
We'd be these assholes. We'd be like, what hurricane? And then we get fucking hit by
Okay, the
it.
only reason I wanted is because they're on like so far down on the coast, you're kind of just like there and you can't really get out easily. You know, like I
Yes.
wouldn't want to be sitting ducks in Montauk at this moment.
Listen, New York, since I've moved here 6 months ago, has had multiple tropical storm warnings and the subways flood completely.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to like have to worry about driving home. So I'd want to be in my own
That's
home,
true.
but I wouldn't
I'd
take
wanna
it
be home.
seriously in New York City.
Yeah, dope. Yeah, hell yeah. So it's Monday. We do a week in the city. Maya and Oliver having takeout and movie night. I freaked out. I
Oh my
wrote it on
God.
all caps. Put on caps lock for all of this. It was amazing. I really shipped them. Are they still together? I don't know. I have looked.
Have you found
haven't
Oliver's
Googled.
Instagram?
No, I just looked at her Instagram, to be honest. I didn't do
Okay.
that much sleuthing.
I feel
But
like he would post
Tuesday-
pictures and she wouldn't because it's like I'm now going to be in the public eye. I want to think
Yeah.
about what I'm doing.
You delete everything.
Exactly.
So Tuesday, Amanda and Kyle look at some napkins, lots of napkins to choose from. And then we go with Ciara out to lunch. She meets an ER nurse whose name I did not catch. But Ciara is brand new to the city. You know, she did Montauk last year, but that was just a summer. Now she's actually in the city.
Mhm.
She put her nursing career on hold, but she wants to explore what's out there. because, you know, that situation with Lindsay and Austin really inspired her to do something else than
Like,
worry
I
about
need
this
something
man.
real to focus on, not that dumbass Muppet.
So Ciara loves the ICU, but it becomes daunting. And the ER nurse basically tells her there's plenty of options. The job's going to be great. You're going to meet people, and then you're going to be a New York expert. This
Can I
ER
be
nurse
honest
didn't
with you
really.
about this
Yeah.
conversation? I think this is all fake.
Yeah,
Because let's
this
be
was
honest,
not an ER nurse.
no nurse in New York is going to get every weekend off so they can go film their reality TV show in Montauk.
Yeah, no.
And what are you going to do? Just
Also,
take a sabbatical for 6 weeks every time you go filming?
this lady was way too normal to
Dude, look,
on camera.
she was totally fine looking for like going to her nursing job, but I was like, if she really cared, or like, I don't know, I was kind of shocked she like didn't have her hair done. Like, I feel like no matter who you see on these shows, they're like ready, camera ready, and this girl was just like a normal person who walked down the street.
She was so comfortable on camera though, but
Loved it.
she did not give any kind of advice. She was just kind of like, you got it.
Yeah, you
Like,
should do it. There's so
great.
many ways you can be a nurse. I
What
guess
a
that's what
waste
she
of
could
a
be, like a
conversation.
doctor's office nurse that's only open Monday through Friday.
Oh,
That's the
dope.
thing, she has
Yes.
to do something simpler. She can't be like an ICU hospital nurse.
Yeah, 100%. Well, dope. It was fine. It was like a boring, fine
This is
conversation.
a filler moment. I don't think this is real. This is the produced part of the show, in Meredith's
She wasn't
opinion.
even a fucking nurse. That's the sound girl.
Okay, I believe that chick was a nurse. She had scrubs on.
She had scrubs on, her hair was in a bun. She's a legit nurse. So it's Wednesday. Sharon's here, Carl's mom. We love her. She's our favorite. And her husband that we saw get married last year. But like mostly we're here for Carl's mom. And she cries when she sees him. And I just wish my mom would cry when she saw me.
I know. But I wonder if it's because her brother's or his brother's his birthday or passing was recent, that it's like all the feels.
Also, she calls him Carlos. Is this his real name?
Probably. That checks out.
It checks out, but I just thought that was something the Tres Amigos called him.
They could call him Carlito.
Oh, you're right. Carlos. Maybe it's Is he Spanish?
Can you imagine if your mom had a nickname for you, though?
My mom's nickname for me is Carlos.
Can you imagine if your mom called you like Alicia?
No, geez. My dad calls me Alicia. He doesn't finish it, but that's more a dad vibe. Finish it. Okay, so we see Wesley the zebra. Remember him?
I've always wondered where they went.
Carl stole it.
Bring it back to Montauk.
So Sharon says, doesn't Lindsay live in this building? And he's like, yeah, she lives on the top floor. She's like super rich. And Sharon goes, so Carl, when are you going to move up there? They knew before Carl knew.
I love it.
They knew. But yeah, so Carl's 223 days sober. We love him.
I love it so much. It brings me so much joy, just like James on Vanderpump. Like, I just love seeing personal successes on these types of shows because these are real moments.
Yeah. This was like a real big success. He obviously then wasn't sober because his brother passed in the summer house last year.
Yeah.
So obviously it did take a little more time for him to come completely sober.
And I remember him saying that he like had at the finale or the reunion last season, he said that like he had a really bad fall or winter. I forget what it was.
Yeah. And Kyle was there for him or something. So he's on the straight and narrow though now. We mentioned Curtis, his brother. And like Carl's mom is very proud of Carl for being sober, but it's kind of like, would he be sober if his brother didn't pass? You know, like, yeah, it's sad to think about. But I think like Carl, what makes this like so special is he took a terrible moment and he made it into something positive for himself. Yeah. Like something positive did come out of this.
Yes.
Carl
it's that like bittersweet,
yeah,
like wake up call he needed. Like obviously he would much rather have his brother back, but yes, we can't bring him back. So let's make this like the most positive we can.
Exactly. So then Carl says he doesn't want to be like his brother. He thought doing coke and drinking all the time was what you do. And I think this is the first time someone mentioned coke on a Bravo show. Like, we're actually doing coke. That's
No,
what a lot of people.
remember the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the coke in the bathroom discussion?
Yeah. No one admitted it though. It was like the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time someone admitted to
Yeah.
doing coke.
I think Carl has admitted it on podcasts or something. Yeah, he did, because remember last season, a big problem with Hannah was that she like said that they were all drugged out, and Carl was like, that's not what I said. Like, you're using my words out of context and like for a joke, and that's not cool.
Yes. Okay. I do remember that. So Carl's admitted it. I have it on good authority now that I'm in New York. He used to party in the East Village all the time and get hammered at one of my coworkers' apartments to the point that she wanted to call the police on him. So shout out Carl for being better.
It happens in a lot of big cities. So I think we all kind of knew this stuff.
We figured.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to bring up Mackenzie, even though no one cares. He likes Mackenzie, but he's been thinking about how he should be sober for a year before entering a relationship, and he's not like love. He hasn't felt that love spark, and he feels pressure, and he just wants to take things slow. And his mom's like, "Okay, you obviously are not in love with her. You would know if you were."
Yeah.
So
I like how she said it. She said, like, if you're not moving like ahead with this relationship, there's a reason why. Like, if you ever feel hesitant, there's a reason why. And there doesn't have to be some like bad thing. It can just be like it's just not working. Mm-hmm. Like, not everybody's meant to date each other. Like, you can think somebody's an amazing person. That doesn't mean you should date them.
Agreed. So Carl's mom said that Carl needs to take time and focus on himself, and then open himself up to someone else, aka Lindsay, because he doesn't really have to open himself up to her because they already know
he's been there. He's the one, like, as soon as he got that call, he went straight into Lindsay's room and told her like that his brother died.
That's his person.
Like, think, like, he doesn't have to explain his life because she's been there through so much of it. Yeah.
She knows. And he already knows that she loves him so much. She will put herself on the back burner so he can focus on his sobriety. Like, she knows that's number one for sure.
How to be a supportive partner. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's Thursday. Kyle and Amanda go to therapy. We found a therapist through Lindsay because we all know Lindsay's in therapy.
Here's the thing. I was shocked they gave us a therapy moment.
I am too. Also, I didn't mean the Lindsay therapy thing in a bad way. I mean, like, last summer she called her therapist to complain about stress. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in therapy. We have issues around their inability to communicate. The last couple of weeks have been super intense because we're doing this wedding in a backyard. But Amanda commends Kyle for handling the wedding stress and the work stress. And then Kyle's like, BT Dubs prenup?
He's like, so glad we've had 2 great weekends. Prenup?
Hey, out of our 7 weekends, we've had 2 good ones.
So let's keep that streak going by just signing the prenup I want and moving on and not actually talking about it. Let's just say yes.
So Amanda has fears because she thinks a prenup is planning for a divorce. And Kyle says that he needs a prenup because his investors are asking for one. This is where it pisses me off. Kyle doesn't want a prenup. He's being told by other people to get a prenup. But you should be able to articulate a reason why you both should have a prenup.
Yes. And I love how the therapist says, like, it needs to be fully transparent, like, why you both want this, and you both need to have a lawyer involved because your lawyer is there to protect your interests. And then you can ask questions without like the pressure of having a mutual lawyer,
Agreed.
Like, you have your own lawyer to handle your interests, and your partner will have their lawyer to handle their interests, and then you'll write up an agreement together.
Yeah, and I know this is going to come up next week, but I'm going to mention it. Amanda mentions that she has 0% of lover boy, which is bullshit. This is why this girl should be getting
a prenup,
a lawyer.
Yeah.
She should get a lawyer immediately.
Yes, because then it's like, if you want half of it, if you divorce, then like write that in the prenup. Yeah. But I think why investors want it is because they don't want the it being unstable if they were ever to break up. They want something so it's just like the agreement happens and the business will be okay. That's why the
I agree.
investors probably want it.
That's exactly why they want it. They don't want to deal with that. Well, it's in court, so we have to like maybe pause things because we don't know who's running the company. No.
Yep.
If Amanda wants half, fine. If she wants a quarter, fine. If she doesn't want any, fine. But like we need to know what's
What we're gonna
happening.
get. Yep.
Okay, so next
And
time
he could never hold it over your head too. Like you go
Yeah.
into that marriage saying, I own half of this company too.
I like what she said. I think she said in the preview, but she was like, if he leaves me, I get half. And I was like, dope, like
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos' wife.
Yes. Write
Fuck
that
yeah.
up, girl.
So
Put your interests out there. It's not just about his interests.
It's not. It's about yours because it sounds like Amanda's family also has money.
That's
So then that
so
would
true.
protect anything Amanda's going to inherit, anything Amanda's parents give her.
Your
It's not gonna
401k,
go.
like literally
Yes.
everything you could possibly think of. Your car, any property you own, just
Yes.
so many other things even.
The dogs. You can write your dogs in there. Who gets
Yep.
the dog?
Yep.
And it doesn't end up like James and Raquel.
And you
even
know
though they weren't
what?
married.
Say you want half of Loverboy, but none of the liability of it. And then if the company gets sued, you're not in like in
Dope.
on any of it.
So next time we're on a bus, we find out Andrea's got a huge dick.
Ooh.
Amanda brings up the prenup to her friends, and we find out she has 0% of the company. Andrea opens up about his feelings, and Paige opens up about hers. Lindsay's flavor of the week is coming, and I'm so excited. I support it.
She said his name is Oliver, and it made me stressed. Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know, but I'm just telling
listen.
you. I swear she said Oliver. So somebody fact check me, please.
But didn't we see the guy? Because she wraps her leg around him. That's her move.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, I swear she
we'll
said
find
Oliver,
out.
which is the same name as Maya's guy. And I'm like, I can't do another love triangle this soon.
We'll find out. But then in a twist of fate, Amanda kind of comes for Lindsay and her relationships, and Lindsay becomes activated, which is very much.
I don't think she comes for her. I think Amanda is expressing stress for Lindsay, being like, hey, if you're acting out, I'm going to call it, or like if you're doing all this because you're like not dealing with things, I think you need to like figure those things out. I think she's trying to be a friend here.
I don't think they know about the miscarriage though,
right?
right?
I don't think she does either, but I think Amanda looks at Lindsay and is like, there seems to be like a lot of volatility in her life right now. Like she was going to go to Mexico with someone she met like 3 days ago. Like that's not normal. I think like Amanda's looking at this being like, hey, it sounds like you're going through some things. Like maybe you should sit and process those.
Don't activate her. She's activated. I'm excited.
I think Amanda's trying to be a good friend, and Lindsay gets activated because she doesn't want to deal with stuff.
We will see. I mean, that's yeah, and that's where therapy comes in. But sometimes you can't make your friends deal with shit. Yeah. So
but I think you should be honest with your friends if you're concerned about them.
You should. Okay, so I have some Watch What Happens live notes and some tweets that I will talk about. But first, we have to do accepted. No, what do we do? Fun, not fun.
Not fun.
Fun, not fun, baby.
Can we start off with fun? Because I'm excited.
Yeah, of course.
My fun's Danielle. I think despite everything that had happened, like Danielle had the right to be really pissed and like yell about some things. But you know what? She is just like so wonderful and handles things with such grace. Even like the Robert situation, like she's willing to give Charleston a try. I'm really proud of her.
I agree. And honestly, Danielle was going to be mine, but I'll change it because I think a lot of people were fun this episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick. Oh, actually, no, I'm thinking differently. Should I pick someone else? No, I'm going to stick with my original one. I'm going to pick Paige because I think Paige was fun. I enjoyed her dressing up as Luke the most. I think she was fun during the volleyball game. I think Craig really brings a better, less mean side. Like she doesn't have as much time to be a mean girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like hanging out with Craig. I think she's hilarious with like you're obsessed with me. You want to take me to my parents. I think it's very funny. And honestly, I haven't liked Paige a lot this season. So I enjoyed her this episode. So I'll give it to her.
I love
Okay,
it.
not fun.
Oh gosh. I'm
Alex.
gonna
Just kidding. That's a cop out.
poor guy.
That's a cop
Literally
out.
because he was asked not to come. I'm gonna
Literally.
go with Kyle. He was like way too concerned about him eating his food and then didn't even eat. I'm sure there was other stuff in the fridge. Like, go eat something else so you're not hammered, more hammered than the people who went out. I just don't understand how he does that shit. And I'm still annoyed that like we're, let's say, like 6 weeks pre-wedding and he still doesn't have this like prenup stuff figured out, because Amanda said the last time they talked about it, you better present to me why I should do this. And I think he should. Like, if you're
I think
gonna
you
do
should
this
too.
so last minute, come to me and tell me like what's the benefit for me.
Agreed. I'm gonna pick Craig. I think he's just like an extra person right now. Like, I appreciate how he made Paige fun, but also like we just don't need this other mouth to feed. He has his own show. If he could just like go back. Like, I don't mind Craig, but like I don't need him.
It's kind of exhausting having this like Southern Charm crossover all season
Yeah, like multiple Southern Charm people have crossed over here
in
and I'm
different
over it.
weekends.
They
We've
are
had
all fun on
3
their own.
Southern Charm weekends.
Also, I don't need Craig sitting here telling Paige it's not a big deal to meet his parents. Sir, you're a dummy. Loser.
Hey, who was on Watch What Happens Live?
Oh, it was Ciara and Andrea.
Interesting.
That's why I watched it. I wasn't
Okay.
gonna, but so also John Mayer was behind the bar.
Okay, I saw that on Instagram and I was pissed. I mean, okay, last night I'm a huge Kansas basketball fan, so I had to watch the national championship instead of Southern Charm. I'm sorry, not Southern Charm, Summer House. And I was so mad seeing Andy Cohen's Instagram stories that John Mayer was behind the bar because I wanted to watch it live.
Yeah, John Mayer was funny. He clearly didn't know anything, but at the end, and I'll talk about this, he was very funny with Andrea. So basically, we voted on things. Whose side are you on? It's like Ciara or Lindsay and Danielle. Lindsay and Danielle won, but not by a lot. Did Lindsay intend to hurt Ciara? Ciara thinks yes. The audience thinks yes. How genuine was Ciara's apology to Danielle on a scale of 1 to 10? She got a 7.
I think that's what I would put it at.
Yeah, like it was.
Like I think, and I always say this, everybody could do more, and I think she could have really been like, I want to be your friend, like this is really important to me, and that would have been more genuine.
Yeah, this one I missed, so I put a 0. So my bad. Sorry, girl. Should Kyle and Amanda get a prenup? The audience says yes. Ciara loves a good prenup. And Andrea says maybe it's like just become a thing in Italy.
If they didn't have a business together, I don't think everyday people like need necessary to always get it, but like it's the business part of it.
Agreed. So we talk about when Austin came to visit. Ciara she didn't really have like too many expectations, but she did think Austin was going to hang out with her, but really Austin was just a dick. I
think she also had an expectation that nothing was going to happen between him and Lindsay.
Yeah, for sure. Ciara thinks on a 100% scale that 98% Lindsay was trying to get back at her. Also, I guess Lindsay and Danielle and Ciara have talked. They are all civil, but they do not get along. They are not friends.
They're cordial. They get along. They're cordial, but they're not friends.
Yes, they're just not friends.
Yeah.
So Ciara does not remember throwing the wine glass. She blacked out. Ciara and Austin, they say hi, they say bye, and that is it.
I love to hear it.
That's it. Okay,
that
so the last thing,
even more why Austin picked her in all those polls last fall for Winter House.
The worst. Yeah, they're all going to Winter House. Andrea's not going to Winter House. We did find out. So in the audience, guess who was in the audience? This was the big twist of the night.
Alex.
No, Lexi, that girl. Andrea and Lexi, that's the girl he's dating that he went to Hawaii with. Him and Lexi are dating. She was in the audience. They are together, and he is happy he didn't film Winter House because it helped him have a relationship with Lexi.
I'm happy he prioritized that, and maybe we'll get her on Summer House.
I know. So she is. She looks sweet. She didn't really love being on camera. You could tell she was kind of like uncomfortable, but I would be like, "Sup, put it back on me." But no, she was like, "Not."
Love.
But yeah, they're together. The last thing to make Andrea cry was Denver Nuggets, and his first celebrity crush was Pamela Anderson.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. John Mayer was so funny. He's like, "Have you ever thought of being Andrea Nugget instead of Andrea Denver?"
Oh
Andrea was like, "No."
My God.
Okay, so first thing Andrea notices in a girl is his face, but he has a weakness for breasts.
Interesting.
I appreciate the Italian like accent being like, "I love a good breast."
And that because Paige has none.
Andrea cried after sex once, but he put on a good performance.
Oh my God. What?
It was because John Mayer was stuck on this. He could not move on. So Andrea says he hooked up with this girl. It was a great performance, but he then after cried because his heart was with someone else. So he didn't want to have sex with this person. And John Mayer was literally like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
I know. Oh my gosh. If somebody cried, I would be pissed, especially if it was this reason.
Yeah. I'd be sad for myself.
I need you to like find out that your grandpa just died and that's the reason you're crying. You're not going to cry because of us.
So Ciara loves his daddy. Andrea does not like MILFs. He did once though hook up with a friend's mom. I know this man.
Jeez.
Okay, so yeah, basically that was it. My polls were fine. We don't have to go through them honestly, but yeah, it was a good poll sesh.
It was one of those episodes where nothing really happened, but we have all the thoughts about it.
It was a good show.
I know. I can't wait for next episode.
I know. I'm excited. Also, apologies again if the sound is fucking weird. I will figure out this headphone thing because it has done nothing but bother me. Meredith is on like a low volume and I can barely hear her.
Well, okay. that means I'm at a normal talking voice.
Wow. Thank you, everyone. Again, apologies. Please do not leave us any bad reviews. Just slide in my DMs and harass me. I was about to say,
yeah, come to the Instagram and
you can harass me on my personal Instagram. I don't mind.
Okay. Not necessary. The Vanderpump you'll get more responses from.
We'll get this sorted out though. Be sure Vanderpump Rules right now is season 4 is live.
We just kicked it off.
We just kicked off. It's so fun. Listen to those. And be ready to decide a 1-season wonder for us. I'm going to start texting Meredith ideas so you guys can vote.